So thanks everybody for attending this session. I think you guys must have learned a lot, especially during the time when we were talking about generative AI innovations with regulated industries.
So hi everyone, I'm Ambrose from Pickup and this is Lawrence, our CTO. Today we're going to walk through on the logistic industry side, and we're going to walk through around 10 use cases on how the logistic world is actually using LLMs and GenAI to help us on daily operations. So today we're going to go through from product discovery and downright to successful delivery and return scheduler to go through the whole process of a parcel from first it got packed and until the end it got delivered. And for each use case, we're going to look into the reason of why we developed this, and then we'll look into who we're actually developing this for. Is it only for pick up our internal use, or are we actually developing this for other people as well around the world? And lastly, we're going to look into what kind of GenAI technique we're using to build these kind of tools for us. So we're going to simulate a merchant who is trying to send some coffee beans from Taiwan to Singapore. At Pickup, we have a lot of different services provided, from local express delivery to next day delivery to even international deliveries. And usually our merchants will go into our landing page and read the whole landing page and see what they really need. But however, some of them is going to be more lazy, and they will directly go into our CS team and ask, which creates around 10 to 20% of ticket every day. So here we have actually implemented a GenAI chatbot. So now we're able to push all the information in and use RAG. The chatbot will be able to fetch the correct information, and then it's going to suggest to the user what kind of service they actually need. So for this instance, it's very clear that she needs global delivery. So after she knows she needs to use Pickup Global, she will continue and try to get a quote. However, for her, to get a real quote, we need the actual weight and dimension, because all the rates is depending on weight and dimension. But for this case, we're simulating that if she is unable to give us the dimension, we're actually able to ask the LM to ask her for a photo, and we can actually do a photo estimator and estimate the size of the parcel. And with this information, we can push this information back to our server and call an API, and then we'll be able to get the actual quote for her. So instead of getting stuck in the middle or asking her to get a ruler or etc., she can actually just take a photo and then we'll know how large the thing is. And in a traditional sense, after she gets a quote, normally other company will do is ask her to create an account or go place an order in the normal UI, right? But we find that actually 50% of customer drop once they change the UI from chat going into our actual system. So we want to try and prevent this, and we're letting our customer to create the account and create the order right there in the conversation. Obviously, we can't take in credit card information. So at the end of the day, we still have some payment link they need to go into to pay the actual amount. However, the whole conversion can be done here, and we can see a better conversion rate for around 20 to 30% compared in the previous iteration where we have to force our clients back into our own portal. And for this whole process, from product discovery to placing the order, we're not only developing this for ourselves. There are clients around the world in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Taiwan in different industry. For example, like storage units and also e-com shop. We're actually providing this service to them as well, and they see similar results. So now she has placed the order. Since this is an international order, she needs to do some custom clearing, right? And if anyone has tried to mail international things around, you have to fill in some custom forms, and there is something called HS code that it's required in the custom clearing form. And it's a dictionary that is this thick with hundreds and hundreds of pages showing what kind of product need what kind of code. But now they are able to just come in again into our CS chat and then ask what kind of code is required. Since we push all this information again up to the GenAI chatbot, and we have RAG over there, it can quickly tell you what kind of code it is. So it can save around 10 to 15 minutes if you are a first timer and don't know what you're doing. So our customer actually quite like this, and they can save a lot of time when placing this actual order. So now the order is placed, it got sent out. then it's quite common that people will chase and ask for a status update. Although you can actually look at it online, but 80% of our tickets are actually people asking where their parcels are. And we're talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tickets every single day. So now, since we have this GenAI chatbot, it can take in any kind of inquiry, right? Because different people have different ways to ask things. But with the chatbot, you can ask it however you want, and it will know you are asking for a status update or you want to know the status of the parcel. So here, with this, we're able to cut down 80% of ticket, which also means that we can go from a 10-people CS team down to a 2-people CS team, just because we've eliminated so much of these kind of tickets. And when the parcel actually arrives at the last destination, like in Singapore for this case, we actually need our delivery agents to do deliveries, right? There's one thing that is quite special over here, is that usually one delivery agent is working for multiple companies. So that if each of the company require them to use a delivery app to do delivery actions, it means that most of the delivery agents are dual apping, triple apping, or quadruple apping. So this is what we don't really want our agent to do, because it's really hard to use so many apps, and it's requested not only internally, it's requested from external client as well, that they want their agent to use a very simple way to able to complete delivery actions. So one of the things that we built here is to allow the delivery agents to use a simple IM2, WhatsApp, Line, etc., to communicate with the system and do delivery actions over there. And one of the things they need to do is to understand what kind of assignment they have for tomorrow, and usually they will do a routing before they actually do the delivery. So with the GenAI LLMs, we're able to basically give out suggestions on what he should deliver next. So usually they will pick up the first order, like what they want to deliver tomorrow, and then for each one after that, we'll give them like 5 or 6 different selections, and they can just pick and pick and pick, and at the end of the day, they will get a full list of the orders they can deliver with, and it will give you a summary of how long it will need, when you should start working, and when you can expect everything will be done with this chatbot here. And of course, for all deliveries, it's not going to be happy flow 100% of the time. Some of the time, the client or the recipient might not be at home, and you require a schedule to a second delivery. With that, we can actually allow our agents to use the same chat and tell our chatbot that, oh, this delivery, I need to delay it because of the client is not at home or whatever reasons. But we still need to do a verification over there, right? So what we require our agent to do is have a text-based chat with the recipient to show that the recipient actually required a rescheduler. So here you can see that there's a screen cap showing the conversation between the agent and the recipient, and still the agent needs to post a request of, I want to change this delivery to 2 days later, or the recipient want to change it 2 days later. And we'll verify the message of the agent and the screen cap to ensure things are actually synced. If it's not, it's going to ask you retry, but if it's okay, we're going to immediately push this request into our system, and it will update the delivery time, and it will also send a message to our client. So this way, the delivery flow is way easier, instead of the agent needing to do the screen cap and then push it back to the human CS, and the human CS will ask verification. Everything is going to be automated, and it saves a lot of time for them. And of course, for a happy flow, it's very simple. The agent can just say, oh, this is my order, this is the photo, and then the chatbot can push it in back into our server so that our customers can also see that, oh, this order got delivered and here's the POD. And in the ultimate unhappy flow, where the customer wants to return the orders, we can actually pre-sync the information with our merchants so that we know, oh, this client is probably going to return the order, and since we have this information, we can verify the request with the inbound inquiry of the recipient. As long as we're able to match these two information, we'll allow the recipient to schedule a return within the next 7 days or so. And then after everything is confirmed, we'll create a return order immediately in our system so that there's no more back and forth required here. And magically, 3 days later, our agent will show up and collect the things. So all in all these processes actually helping us to be more efficient and trying to save a lot of manpower here and there. So these are the showcases I've prepared today. I'm going to pass the time to Lawrence, and he's going to talk more about how we actually build these tools and what kind of tools we use to build these tools.
All right, thank you, Ambrose. So let me explain behind the scene how we are able to achieve all these. So let's take a look at this diagram first. When a customer engages us with WhatsApp, the message goes through Meta WhatsApp cloud, of course, like this one go first. Then it reaches our cloud very quickly. And you see here, we have set up an API gateway and then a Lambda function, and actually just as an adapter to format the API request and response a bit. The majority of the work actually goes to Bedrock already. So you can see here, it's a rather simple setup, isn't it? So with that simple setup, it can give us a lot of benefit listed here. For example, you don't see any GPU machines here, the chips, the data pipeline that support all these. Because all these are done with Bedrock itself. We're using the Bedrock for the token-based pricing model, which give us very good cost saving, because all the GPU machines are expensive. Even if you do it on the cloud itself, the instance are not cheap, especially for startup. So that even at scale, we believe it will give you a more cost-efficient way of doing so. That's the case for us. And you can also see when everything here is centralized, the management it's easier. We can do it through agents. I think I can explain later on. It also provides a business flexibility of people going in and manage the whole AI, how it's done. Even business people with the correct IAM setting, all these can be done within here. So let's take a look how we do it within Bedrock. There's a very important concept here called agent. I think let's highlight here. We are just asking, setting the API request to an agent and then get back an answer from agent. So what is agent? You can think of it like a human staff. So when you hire human staff, it's almost like that. For me, I would describe it as like a work unit that has the beauty encapsulating everything it needs to work in one place. So you can, the agent will acquire knowledge, it can perform certain actions that you provided, and only those certain actions that you provided. And it's also error independent. So you see here, you can choose the model. So if let's say later on, really in the future, the world, AI world is changing so fast, when there's more powerful, cheaper model coming out, technically you can just change it right over here with a click. It's also version controlled. But of course, practically, we know you need to do more testing to ensure the behavior, everything is the same. You also see here, there's how you instruct the agent for what kind of task they want to do. Then how do you put the knowledge? So, you can also put it here. You write a lot of things, but that's not the best way of doing it. So what we do here, also the Bedrock provided is knowledge base. So you can do it with a knowledge base. You can create that, and then it accepts multiple source. But I think one of the things that is very important for us to kickstart it very fast is we let it crawl from the website. Because typically when you're running a business, you have the website for your customer to see all the information. Just unfortunately, most of them don't read all. So that's why you have a problem of customers still asking you some questions that you feel like it's very clear on your website. Then when the customer don't read, you can actually provide that to your agent. Let your agent read it for your customer and answer those questions back to the customer. So I think I'm not going through all the details here, but with the tool, very important concept here, and also what Bedrock provided us, we're able to achieve a lot of use cases that we just talked about now. And also, we can focus more our effort in solving real industry problems, either for ourselves or for our clients. So I think let's wrap up here. If you're interested to know more, or even feel like, oh, some of the use cases actually are relevant to your business, to your own industry, I think like feel free to drop us an email. Like we can discuss deeper on what we can do here. And also, if you have questions more just about how, like the features of all the Bedrock stuff, I'm not going to cover all here, but I'll let, again, you guys can just go to reach out the AWS team. They're also very helpful. I think, thank you all.